Welcome to the Art of Conversation. It's your girl Alicia C. And we out here recording live. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Good morning. I hope you're feeling well this Wednesday. Ooh, it's a beautiful Wednesday morning, isn't it? The birds are chirping, the sun is shining. Go out there and get some fresh air, take a walk. The word for today's episode is wellness. According to Pfizer, wellness is the act of practicing healthy habits on a daily basis to attain better physical and mental health outcomes. So that instead of just surviving, you're thriving. To understand the significance of wellness, it's important to understand how it's linked to our health. Wellness, well-being, self-care. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so let's throw in mental health. Are you well? Some people only focus on the physicality piece. Are you well overall? There's many components to being well. Sometimes we're more well in certain areas than others. What can we do to bring balance to the areas that we can improve? Are you mentally well? Are you financially well? Are you emotionally well? Etc. If you had to ask yourself that question right now on this Wednesday morning, would you consider yourself to be well? If you had to rate yourself from 1 to 10, where would you land? And if it's a not so great number, what do you think you can do to improve your wellness? How important is that, right? We're always on the go. That's life. Bada boom, bada bang. Gotta go to work. School, kids, run errands, pay bills. I gotta do this. And then after you do this, you got this, that boom, 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 boom. You're bouncing all around. At some point, you have to pause and you have to check in on the most important person, which is yourself. Because if you're not well, how in the world do you expect to get any of those things done? The thing is, they're gonna always be there. Yeah, granted, sometimes there's deadlines and but you know what? Life tends to happen. Things happen. Sometimes you have no control over. Do you beat yourself up? Or you just reset and, start fresh on another day? During the midst of the chaos, when do you sit still and allow yourself to reset and do a check-in with yourself to make sure you're well? You don't want to wait until it's too late to start doing the things that, you should have been doing on a daily basis. I joke and say, it's Wellness Wednesday. Make sure you're well this Wednesday. But, every day, make sure you're well. Check in with yourself daily. Learn to set days aside for yourself. Self-care, which is a big piece of maintaining your wellness. Global wellness tells us that wellness is multidimensional. It's more than just physical health, of course. And the thing is, what's inside, internally, if that's not working correctly, if that's not right, it's going to show on the outside. I always think about when people say, oh, you can be drop dead gorgeous on the outside. Woo, good looking. But you have a bad heart. You're evil on the inside, darkness. Eventually, wear and tear occurs. Eventually, your life choices, how you treat people, what kind of heart and person you are on the inside will eventually seep into your physical look. So yeah, you could look drop dead gorgeous for the first 10, 15, 20 years of your life. Maybe even the first 30 or 40 years, but eventually it'll catch up to you. How about those people who never drink water? I don't need to drink water. You see how bada boom I work out? I don't need to drink no water. I don't need to drink. I don't have to eat vegetables. You see how look good I look? Right. But eventually it'll catch up to you. Yes, you can look good on the outside, but how's your blood count? Do you pass out a lot? Do you have any medical conditions? If, God forbid, something was to happen and they needed to take blood from you, are you able to? Etc., etc., right? A lot of people tend to focus just on the physical health. Got some people, I get my hair done, hair cut, nails done, feet done, wearing the designer clothes. I look so good on the outside. Just look at me. I look so good. Okay. But inside you're carrying a whole bunch of childhood trauma. You're angry, you're depressed, you're anxious. You're not actually well. But on the outside to the world, you present to be top notch. I'm a 10. I'm a 10. Who cares? Inside counts more than the outside. If the inside is healthy and good, guess what? The outside will be too. You got to shine from inside out. Wellness is commonly viewed as having 7 dimensions, and I'm sure it's even more than that. What are they? Mental, physical, social, financial, spiritual, environmental, and vocational. Global wellness breaks it down for us. Physical wellness is nurturing a healthy body through exercise, nutrition, sleep, etc. Mental wellness is engaging the world through learning, problem solving, creativity. Emotional wellness is being aware of, accepting and expressing our feelings and understanding the feelings of others. Spiritual wellness is searching for meaning and higher purpose in human existence. Social wellness is connecting and engaging with others and our communities in a meaningful way. Environmental wellness is fostering positive interrelationships between planetary health and human actions, choices, and well-being. Vocational wellness is gaining personal satisfaction and enrichment from one's work, whether that be academic work while in college or a job after graduation. And lastly, to throw there, financial wellness is just the power to take control of your financial health now and into the future. If someone gave you guys a survey with these dimensions listed, on a chart 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself in these individual brackets? You know, you might give yourself a 9 and 10 in certain areas. You might give yourself a 4 or 5 in others. So then you got to find the balance. What can I do to bring this 4 or 5 or even a 2 or 3, or maybe you're a 0? What can I do to bring that up? What is it? What does it mean? Right? So you break down each one. What does it mean? Physical health. Should I exercise more? Maybe instead of just exercising once a week, maybe I could bump it up 2 to 3 times a week. Don't over dramatize and overthink what that looks like. And, you know, time and time again, we discuss self-care, wellness. Nobody knows you more than you. You know your limitations, and you know how far you can take yourself. You don't judge yourself, and you don't put too much stress or pressure on yourself. You can't compare what works for you with what works for another person, because you're 2 separate people. For one person, exercise could mean going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. For you, exercise could just be, instead of driving to work today, I'm going to walk to work, if it's walking distance. Instead of driving to the supermarket, let me take a walk to the supermarket. Let me carry the bags back. Let me not be codependent on my vehicle. Let me get some fresh air. Let me walk and plant my feet on the ground and ground myself. Nutrition. How often am I eating fruits and vegetables? If it's difficult for me to do, if it's difficult for you to eat vegetables and fruits, why not make it into a smoothie? Start your day with a smoothie. Sleep. How disciplined are you when you go to sleep? Are you getting a full 6 to 7 hours, 7 to 8 hours? Are you the type of person that if you can't fall asleep, you're on your phone scrolling through social media? Do you need to limit how often you're on social media? Do you need to go to sleep an hour earlier? Do you need to not take naps during the day so that you can actually sleep at night? You know, you ask yourself these questions mentally when a problem surfaces, and we know that they always do. What kind of problem solver are you? Do you brush things away? Do you run from the problems? Do you get stressed out? Do you ask others for help? Do you look at it from 2, 3 different perspectives? Maybe I don't have the means or the resources to do it this way, but I know there's another way of doing it. How creative are you with solving those problems or learning? Emotional. How well are you controlling your emotions? How well are you controlling how you respond to things that's outside of you that you have no control over? Do you get angry easy? Do you know what your triggers are? When you're feeling a certain emotion, what behavior are you most likely to take on? Is it a positive behavior or a negative? If it's negative, what can I do to make it more positive? And then they're interconnected because, you know, some people when they get angry or upset, anxious, frustrated, etc., they tend to take walks. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Let me blow off some steam. Let me take a walk. Let me blow off some steam. Let me, you know, meditate. Let me go hit the gym. Let me swim. Let me play some basketball. Let me lift some weights to release the stress and anger. Instead of screaming and hitting someone, hitting a wall, being destructive, let me go hit the bag. Let me do some jumping jacks. Spiritually, how often are you connecting to your higher self? How often are you accepting the fact that there's something bigger than all of us and that we don't have control and that everything is basically connected? Everything is about energy. Everything happens for a reason. Do you think you're the one who told yourself to wake up this morning? Is it a coincidence that you woke up? Is it a coincidence that someone else didn't wake up? Is it a coincidence that you're working where you're working at the time you're working? Is it a coincidence that you cross paths with someone and you happen to have a certain conversation? Maybe you needed to hear something. Maybe you needed to say something and that person needed to hear it. Socially, you know, are you an introvert? How often are you getting out there socializing? Sometimes it's difficult for an introvert. Extrovert, how often are you taking time to be by yourself? Are you able to detach from others and be alone with yourself? Or do you always need to be around people to distract yourself? Environmentally, like, how are we treating the environment? Are we polluting? It's already polluted. Are you adding to it? When you finish that snack of yours, are you throwing it in the garbage? Are you keeping it in your car and when you get home you throw it in the garbage? Or are you one of those people that literally dumps their garbage can out the window on the freeway? Or when you go to a drive-through, you dump the diapers and Pampers and all that stuff out knowing that someone has to sweep it up? Financially, are you living above your means? Are you upgrading your car from an Altima to a Mercedes-Benz, even though you only make $3,000 a month? Are you buying the new Fendi, but didn't pay your month's rent. You know, responsibilities, priorities, vocational. Are you satisfied with what you're doing? And if you're not, what is it that you want to do? And what is it going to take to get you there? In school, how are you doing? Do you feel like you're being fulfilled? I know we did an episode on school. And there are many who feel like it's a waste of time and they don't learn anything. But there are many who do learn something. Are you satisfied? How can you take what you just learned and put it into what you're doing outside of school, outside of work? What ideas can you come up with to help progress within your journey? You know, these are just examples. I'm just throwing examples at you guys. There's so many more things that come to mind, and there's so many more things you can think of. Just giving you a gist, because there's so many ways to look at these things, and everyone's going to have a different answer. Everything doesn't have to be as complicated as people think it is. You know, people hear wellness and mental health and then they get scared, they start to cringe. And that's why there's still this stigma surrounding mental health and just overall wellness. When you talk to people about wellness, they say the basics sometimes. Yeah, I exercise. Yeah, I drink water. Sometimes I eat fruits. Yeah, sometimes I have sea moss and this and that. But it's much more than that. That's just a piece of it. That's very good that you're doing that. But there's so many other parts to this thing. Think about it. But what are some more tips to improve your wellness? Well, I mean, what's key? Self-care. Self-care, self-care, self-care. Are you committing to a healthy diet? Maybe you're someone who loves snacks and junk food. Limit your snacking. Of course, drink plenty of water, but also get your fruit juices and your smoothies in there too. Like I said, sometimes it's difficult for a person to eat fruits and vegetables. You can throw all those things into a juice it, smoothie, boom. In your fiber, your protein, your omega, everything, boom, in 1 cup, down it, bam. Then you have your meals, and then you can have a snack later. Actually take the time to put effort and care into what you're entering into your body and what you're exposing yourself to. Move more. How many times do we hear when people grow old in age, and if they're not doing anything but sitting in the house or a nursing home, they're more likely to get sick, even pass sooner than they should have because they're not moving. Take a walk, dance, stretch, take up a sport. It doesn't have to be strenuous. Take the stairs. Instead of taking the elevator, take your time and walk down the stairs. During your lunch break, take a walk. Get plenty of sleep. How important is sleep? We're talking about wellness. Do you guys know that our body heals itself in many different ways, especially during our sleep? Because we're not doing anything. We're asleep. We're not moving. We're not eating. Our eyes are shut. It gives the body a chance to work. Finally, this person's asleep. God, now we can cleanse and we can remove the toxins. Now we can do what we got to do internally and work while this person is not moving. Sleep is very important. Why you feel so great when you wake up from a good night's sleep. Woo, you refreshed. Ouch. Mamma mia. Now, you know, with self-care, sometimes people like to include a little self-indulging. And sometimes that includes alcohol and Mary J and tobacco products and all that. But, you know, you want to limit your alcohol and substance abuse. Abuse. Limit your use, I mean. Alcohol is high in calories and it may worsen health conditions common among older adults. Avoid tobacco products. Maybe you're someone who enjoys a nice glass of red wine every so often, or maybe a beer, maybe a little smoke here and there. Do you have the discipline to just have that sporadically and walk away from it? Or are you someone who has convinced yourself that you need it to start your day? You need it to get through your day. You need it when times get hard. You need it when you feel stressed. You need it to fall asleep, etc. You see where the codependency comes in? And that's usually something that's going on mentally that you're telling yourself like, oh, I can't focus without a glass of wine, or I can't focus without smoking some weed, or I'm feeling anxious, I'm stressed, I need a smoke, which actually heightens your anxiety when you could have just took a walk around the block, or maybe a mile or so, or a 0.5 mile walk and come back and you feel good. Even better than if you were to smoke that joint or drink that wine. I'm not saying to eliminate it completely, just limit your consumption. I think with wellness overall, it's about just making better choices. If you don't care about yourself, how in the hell do you expect others to care about you? How in the hell do you expect to get anything done at the capacity that you can get it done if you're not well? If you're struggling and you have all these responsibilities, you're going to burn yourself out even faster than you would have if you were well. If you have taken on too much, it is for you to reevaluate those list of things. What is a priority and what is not? What can wait a couple days or another week or so? It's okay to say no. It's okay to say not right now. It's okay to set proper boundaries and timelines, realistic timelines, because you're the one who has to carry this out, not the other person. Again, things happen. God forbid something happens to you and you suffer a heart attack or some kind of, God forbid, some kind of episode or condition, and you end up in the hospital. But you have a script or something that's due the next day. Are you going to be in the hospital? Well, some people do this. Oh, I got to get this out. There's just no exception. Well, right? You use your, I guess, your discernment. But I'm afraid my health, my life is more important than that damn script. Are you going to sit there with your laptop in the hospital bed with IVs in you? Oh, I got to get this done. I just can't. Or are you going to focus on your recovery? Listen, this happened. You can't fault me for something like this happening, because I wouldn't call this on myself and cause it to get out of a deadline or assignment. It happened. When I recover and I'm out of here and I feel good, I'll get back to it. If this is something you need, then you need to find someone else to take care of it. Here, this is what I started. This is what I have. Let someone take over, because I can't do this right now. I got to take care of myself. I need to recuperate. That's that. Some people save up PTO days at work to take vacation. Okay, you go on vacation once a year. How many days is in the year? So you only take a break for what, 1 week out of the whole year? Absolutely not. Use those PTOs, those sick days. They used to give out mental health days. Use them. If you're not feeling all right, don't force yourself. Because sometimes when it's that communication thing again, right? Our body talks to us daily. The thing is, do you choose to listen to it or do you choose to ignore it? You're not feeling 100% for a reason. Maybe you stay home today. Work will be there tomorrow. Because sometimes when you force it, you already feel like crap. You force it, you go, and then something crazy happens and it worsens your day. And you're just like, damn, I knew I should have stayed home today. I should have stayed home. I should have called out. Let's not live with regrets, right? Listen to your body when it tells you it's not feeling well or it's not all right. It's totally all right to stay your butt home and relax and sleep in a little later. It's okay. But you have to balance yourself and don't get too lazy and caught up with that ideology either. When it's time to work, you work. When it's time to chill, you better chill. Be safe, y'all. Stay prayed and peace out.